Hello, I wanted to share something with you guys that just recently found out about, and it's so amazing. If you're familiar with React, you're gonna find this so useful because whenever you're using React and you're creating your custom components, it's very hard to know what props you're using. It makes it so that you basically have to go to the other file whenever you want to see, and this is basically providing Intellisense inside of Visual Studio Code for displaying a component. All right, I have a project open here to show you guys an example of why this would be useful. So first, let's create a React class. I have a snippet. This straight generates a React class for me. And so now all I need to do is I have to create two React classes. So pretend this is like my index, and then I have the index is calling some kind of class. Let's just do a home page. You have home page, create React class. This also creates a React class. So then here we just do home, and I have an auto importer, and then closed it. And that's my React class, right? I have home, and then when I press here, I get children, keys, and references. Okay? So now if I save, I go to home, and I put a prop type here. So this is going to be, let's say, just test. And then I have prop types already imported up here. And let's just do a string and say it's required. Okay? And just so this doesn't yell at me, put a div there. Now, if we go to home and we click and we try to autocomplete, we still only get children, key, and references. And so this is the part that's super annoying. And I'm so happy I found out about this, is that if you want to know any of the props you have to go to the home page, go down to the bottom and find this. If you have a long file, you're going to be scrolling or going downwards like that. And so what you can do to expose it is there's two different ways you can do this. And I prefer this way, actually. It's pretty nice. You just go home, prop types. And so you're passing in the template, the props into the template for the React component. So the React component here takes a prop, takes state, and then I don't know what the SS is actually, but I know props and state. And so when you pass in prop types like this, that means that you can do something like this.props dot, and you have test exposed. And then, oops, if you go to this guy and you click it, if you press control space, and then you see test right here. Test equals, it wants a string, right? So there we go, we passed in a string. We can also provide documentation for this. So it's very useful to be able to say, this allows this, or rather this is the text we display. Boom, save it. And now if I go over here and I hover it, it'll tell me this is the text that we display. So it's whatever the information is. So it's very good for documentation. And also while you're control spacing, it'll tell you the information. If it's not showing it, you have to click this guy and it'll show it. And then you'll see the documentation. And so this is very useful if you want to easily see what props are available to you from your own custom components, because typically stuff like div all have it like that. The other way you might be able to do this is with a tag like this, augments, and then you can say something like react.component and props, and then it'll auto do it for you. But I prefer the other way just because you can specify other returns. See, if you do that, you'll also get the props. Let's see. Yep, test is there. But the difference between doing that and doing this is that inside of here, you won't get the props. So it's invisible. So it's better to just do it this way, extends, right? And if you need to inherit this class later on, the home class, which you probably should never inherit home class. And in React, you typically do not want to inherit stuff. But let's say you have a class that you inherited because you've been doing React for a while and you didn't know before, you can pass a template like this, props, probably uppercase. And what you can do inside of here is just put prop, home, inheritor, home, and then document this, extends home, and then inside of here, all I do is home.proptypes, same thing. And so, and if I want to put two prop types, I can do this, and I can also do put a space and put and then home inheritor dot prop types. And so if I had prop types for home inheritor and home, I can pass them both into like this. Although when you inherit, the prop types for the home won't work on the inherited. So this required won't actually work, but it will help you with autocomplete. So trade-offs. All right, so yeah, so let's move on to the next example using functional components. All right, so now we're gonna do a functional component. I also have another snippet for that function component. And if you want these snippets, it's my extension over here, JS React snippet. Basically, this is a functional component in React, and all it takes is props. It doesn't have its own state, so it's a stateless component. With that being said, you can just the same do this way, home.prop types, right? And then props dot, to say one test, prop type string that is required. And then now in here, you get tests, right? That's a good way to do it. You can also, so the last way I'll show you, and that's basically it. And so I'm gonna give you one last quick tip before we end this video. So if you create a typings file, I have them being generated by default right now because of something I'm using, but you can also do for your props, you can do something like this, interface, home props, and then you can find your props like this, string, and then you can document it here. And so it's a little bit more organized, I want to say, if you do it this way, and then you can just pass it in here like that. Now we have the home props here. So tests. You see, we just create an interface and we can use it here. So this is inside a typings folder. This is where Visual Studio Code looks for types that define your classes. And one last way is also to do a boom. You can do a type def. So you do type def, the name of the class. Let's just do home props again. It got removed because I saved. That has to do with an extension I have. Basically, you can find a property like so and say it's a string, and this is test, and then the description for test, display, text, boom. And then when we check our props again, we'll see the test property and it'll say display text. So that's two other ways you can do it, making an interface inside TypeScript and making a type def inside of your home JS file. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I try to make it short and sweet for people who have never heard about this type of thing. This is gonna save me so much time, so I hope it saves you time. So yeah, I hope you enjoy the video.